Happy Veterans Day. Welcome students, staff, and special guests. Today we celebrate Veterans Day, a day set aside to honor all those men and women who have selflessly served our country. A special welcome and thank you to all the servicemen and women of our armed services who are currently viewing today. Because of your sacrifices for our country, you will always have our lasting gratitude. Your service to this country is a true blessing, and we will never forget. As we begin to reflect on Veterans Day, our thanks should also go out to those currently serving and fighting for our freedom, both home and overseas. Only 50% of soldiers who serve receive care packages. Our Ranger community can help increase that number by donating to the military care package drive the Rotary Interact Club is currently running. They will be collecting items through this Friday. Any item or donation can be placed in the boxes in the office. Please consider donating to the soldiers who risk their lives to protect our freedom. Before I introduce this year's MCs, I would be remiss if I did not thank the Forest Lake Area Chapter of the FFA, led by Ms. Ward, Mrs. Tozel, Mr. Pollack, and Mr. Miron. Our music department, led by Mr. Guidry, Mr. Livermore, and Mr. Zumwald. Our media specialist, Leanne Brockman, and Lakes Area TV for putting on today's ceremony. You and your students' efforts will all be appreciated. At this time, please join me in welcoming this year's MCs, the president of the FFA chapter, Mr. Bren DeRocher, and our Veterans Day Committee Chair, Megan Carlson.
Hello and welcome to the 17th Annual Veterans Day celebration here at Forest Lake High School. This event began as a flag dedication replacing the battered flag in front of the high school. Today, we are virtually gathered together to honor those who have selflessly served our country in any branch of the armed forces. This year, we celebrate the 102nd anniversary of the end of World War I, and since the first Armistice Day celebration in 1919. Americans have reserved November 11th as a day to pay respects to the veterans who are with us and who remember those who have fallen. Today, we would like to give a special thanks to VFW Post 4210, the American Legion Post 225, to all the students and staff who have helped plan this event, including the filming crew making this video, and especially to our veterans who have served and sacrificed along with those who plan to serve. The color guard today is a joint effort of the Forest Lake VFW Post 4210 and the Forest Lake American Legion Post 225. We now ask the viewers to please stand and quietly face the colors as the color guard posts the colors. Would the color guard please post the colors?
Recover. Freestand. Hunter. Forward. Hunter. Lift. Pace. Forward. Hunter.
Please place your hand over your heart and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. And please remain standing for the national anthem performed by the Forest Lake Area School Music Department. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright
I have the honor of introducing our keynote speaker, Mr. Andy Wilkerson. Mr. Wilkerson, along with being one of Mr. Caldwell's best friends, is a patriot with a long line of relatives and friends that have served this great nation. Andy's father, Gene Wilkerson, a 22-year vet, served World War II, the Korean War, and Vietnam. His mother served as an interpreter for the Tokyo General Headquarters after the Japanese surrender in 1945. Her boss was General Douglas MacArthur. His great-grandfather served in the Union Army during the Civil War, Shiloh and Chickamauga. His wife, Lynn, is a granddaughter of the American Revolution. She is granddaughter 6 times removed from Captain Benjamin Biggs, who served under General George Washington. For his service to the country, he was awarded a large portion of the Wilderness Territory, which is now known as West Virginia. Mr. Wilkerson has spent a lifetime researching our military and visiting with our veterans in order to share their stories. Please join me in welcoming a patriot, Mr. Andy Wilkerson.
Hello, Ranger Nation. It is my honor to speak with you today. When Mr. Caldwell asked me to speak with you, I found myself thinking, what are they going to think of this 60-year-old guy standing up here talking about Veterans Day? And then I thought about the fact that I would like to look at life through a young person's eyes, or I like to find myself doing that now. And so I'm going to ask a favor of you. Picture yourself in 40 years, and that pretty much covers it. We've accomplished what I'm trying to talk about today. I think you all know that you're living in unprecedented times. You're going to school and learning differently than any other generation of American youth in the history of our country. I want you to know that people are proud of you for your ability to adapt and overcome these hard times. Leading the way in this sentiment is the American veteran. At one time in his or her life, the veteran has chosen country over anything else. They have given a portion of their life to dedicate to the American people. They have cradled our democracy in their arms like a parent cares for a child. And then, when their service is over, they pass that responsibility on to the next patriot in line. It's a long line, people. It spans 244 years. Did you know it is the veteran, not the pastor, that gives us freedom of religion? It is the veteran, not the reporter, that gives us freedom of the press. It is the veteran, not the poet, that gives us freedom of speech. And it is the veteran, not the campus organizer, that gives us freedom to assemble. It is the veteran that allows the protester the right to a peaceful protest. It is the veteran, not the lawyer, that gives us the right to a fair trial. And it is the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. It is the veteran who salutes the flag and who serves beneath that flag and whose coffin will someday be draped by that flag. In today's world, COVID is not our only definition of hard times. We are a country that suffers from inner strife. Politics, social, and racial injustices are just a few of the issues that you and I have forced to come to terms with recently. However, if you look back in the history of our country, you will find this strife has existed before. And we, the people, have worked our way through these tough times. We have done so with the help and guidance and sometimes sacrifice of the American veteran. On March 5th of 1770, British troops fired into a crowd of angry colonists, killing 5 of them. They were the first casualties of the American Revolution. Amongst them was a man by the name of Crispus Attucks. He died alongside fellow Americans. The one big difference was that Crispus Attucks was a black man. He was a freed slave. It didn't matter what color you were. What mattered was that all these people had a common goal. a goal that 6 years later would be recognized on paper as the Declaration of Independence, and it was the birth of your nation. In 1865, the Confederate Army surrendered to the Union Army at Appomattox, Virginia. And instead of vanquishing the enemy and belittling them in defeat, General Ulysses S. Grant accepted the surrender from Robert E. Lee and then told the general that his men could keep their horses and some of their sidearms. After all, they would need to forage for their families when they returned to their homes. The only demand was that they would not fight again for a country other than the United States. They were simply asked to pledge their allegiance to the United States and be part of the country again. As the Confederates left the battlefield, the Union soldiers drew their sabers in a salute to the defeated. It was an offer of dignity to a defeated army, and it was the first step in reuniting our country. On that day, whether you wore blue or gray, whether you were from North or South, you were all American. I've picked just 2 stories to tell you today, but I could tell you 1,000. They are examples of forgiveness and sacrifice. They are examples of trying to achieve a common goal, a goal to make our country a better place. It's something that modern-day America could learn from today. And so, Ranger Nation, I'm going to ask you a favor. I want you to do something for me. Someone in your life is a veteran. They might be your parent, they might be your aunt or an uncle or the neighbor down the block or a teacher. They served to supply you the opportunities of today. And my simple request is to reach out and thank them for their service. You are their legacy, and all they want for you is success, health, and the happiness that a free nation supplies. Be blessed that you are an American, and thank you for the opportunity of talking with you today.
Thank you, Mr. Andy Wilkerson, for sharing your story with us today. We now invite you to join the Symphonic Winds, the Symphonic Orchestra, and the Cantorai in performing the Salute to the Armed Forces, which includes Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, and the United States Marines. Although you are watching this from your classroom or home, we invite you to participate by standing if you were a family member who has served in that branch of the military, when the branch is shown on the screen.
This year, we have the opportunity to unite high school and middle school by introducing our middle school speaker, Matthew Meganstad, covering the importance of Veterans Day and the history behind it.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today. I am Mr. Jacobson, the principal here at Forest Lake Area Middle School. I would like to take this moment to acknowledge this important day and say thank you to the veterans in our lives today and those who served us in the past. Our nation would not be here if it weren't for the sacrifices of those that cherish freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for everyone. Those ideals served as the foundation of our union and should still be our goals still today. I have personally benefited from the efforts, the victories, and the losses of our veterans, and I know many others have as well. I thank our veterans for the gifts given to me, and I feel confident that we will have new people to take their place in our protection and quest for freedom in the future. With that, I would like to introduce our student speaker, Matthew Meganstad. Matthew would like to share a little history about Veterans Day and some feelings he has about this day. Matthew.
Hello, Forest Lake area. My name is Matthew Meganstad, a student here in the district. I'm here before you in a video as COVID-19 prevents us gathering like this district has done for the past many years. But that isn't why I'm talking to you right now. To bring up our present world, I'm here to talk to you about veterans and the day we created to celebrate their sacrifices, and to above all, honor them. A way we honor veterans is by celebrating Veterans Day. Veterans Day is officially 66 years old today. Although it has been celebrated longer than that, it was originally called Armistice Day to honor those who fought in the First World War. The world thought this was the war to end all wars, but it wasn't. It was only the First World War. When another world war began and ended, the name changed to Veterans Day in 1954. That is just a brief summary of Veterans Day, but I also want to bring up those we celebrate. Personally, I had a great uncle who served in the Vietnam War. I never met him, but I know of his legacy. He was with his platoon and they're running out of supplies. He decided to go back into enemy lines and get supplies. He came back alive and received the third highest honor a soldier can have, the Purple Heart. Only the most self-disciplined and brave soldiers receive this award. That just goes to show his bravery was proven strong and his willpower was even stronger. I wish I could have met him. I wish I could have thanked him. But unfortunately, he passed a few years back. So I urge you all to think of veteran. They risk everything for all the little and big things we have as Americans and as people. There are many veterans out there. If you get the chance to thank them, take it. Those words of thank you is the least we could do for our veterans. As I touched on briefly earlier, it takes a whole lot of guts to put yourself out there where you are unaware if you will live through the day. They are the truest patriots of our country, holding up what we live for, who we are, sacrificing everything, their time, their very lives, for us to have and live the American dream. Our veterans have faced many wars: the Korean War, the Vietnam War, World War II, the Gulf War, and the war in Afghanistan. Even conflicts in which were not wars. For example, the invasion of the Dominican Republic back when Ronald Reagan was still president. All these are examples of experiences our veterans have faced and braved. The recent events of the killings of terrorist organization leaders are no exception. They prevented many lives lost in the future. In the face of violence, they fought for peace, not for money, not for personal gain, for our country. As you may know, our great nation is divided, but we are all still citizens of the United States of America. They will fight for us because they care for our country's welfare. So we will do our very best to give them our gratitude. A way we do show them our gratitude is every year, excluding this year, us Americans gather around for our veterans. We may not be together physically with them right now, but as a community, we are very close with them. The veterans have been a piece of our community from the very beginning, and today is our day to celebrate and thank them. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. The Rotary Club has put together a quick video about their military care package drive sent to us by Abigail Legeld.
Hello, everyone. I would like to start off by saying thank you to all the veterans who have served our country, and thank you to those who are currently serving as well. One way you can help those who are currently serving is by donating to the Military Care Package Drive here at the high school. The drive runs through Friday, and we'll be sending care packages with food, hygiene, and entertainment items, as well as letters to Minnesotan troops. You can find more information in your emails, on posters around the school, or on our Instagram and Facebook at Rotary Interact Cares. I hope you will help support the troops who risk their lives for our freedom, thanking them in the process.
As we honor our veterans today, we also remember those who have given the ultimate sacrifice to service our country. Please pause for a moment of silence. Thank you.
Please stand until the colors are retired. Would the color guard please retire the colors?
Return the colors. Recover. Left face. Forward. March.
It is important to honor those who have served our country, to appreciate the great sacrifices our veterans made for us. Thank you for watching the annual Veterans Day celebration. As we conclude our ceremony, we will be honoring those who have or are currently served with pictures submitted by the community and recognizing their service.